Is it pretty cold there now?
Yeah.
All right. I think we're just getting set to launch. If anyone's watching us via YouTube, Facebook, wherever we are right now, about to have our first ever virtual press conference. This is a little bit different. Waiting for the standby. Won't be far. Okay, we are now officially live. Everyone, thanks for joining us. This is something completely new. Welcome to 2020. It's a virtual press conference. We've got today's race winner, Scott McLaughlin, and a pair of Red Bulls on the virtual podium, I guess it was today, because a little bit different with the celebrations. Guys, thanks for joining us. We'll start with today's race winner. How cool to see Supercars back, Scott. Let's just talk about how many positives there were seeing you and Shane toe-to-toe around a really cool racetrack once again.
Yeah, it's a lot better than doing it as cartoons, so it's a lot better. I'm really enjoying the being back, smelling the fumes, getting amongst it, and to sort of hit the ground running and be fast is fantastic. But we need to find a little bit more pace, I think. But yeah, overall good start, and you sort of just want to clean one, and we did.
You always say, we'll tune it up, we'll go find a bit more pace overnight. How difficult is that going to be with the lack of data and the different way that you guys are going to have to break it down tonight?
Yeah, look, I think it relies a lot on myself and my feedback and what I want from the car. I'm pretty sure exactly what I want from the car. It's just a matter of those guys finding it. But I got a little French magician sort of on my side and a pom, and he does a pretty good job. So they both do a pretty good job, and we'll see if we can tune her up and get it a little bit better. But I'm overall really happy. I think the car rolled out of the truck really fast. Just needs a little bit more, and especially over a race run, and we'll be okay.
All right. Well, my job is to, direct some questions from the press to you. The journos are sending me them in quick and fast, so I might just start getting into them, guys. Craig Revell from Inside Motorsport. What does it mean to both Scott and Shane after the announcement today of the new 5-year deal for Sky Sports NZ? That's fantastic news for all of your fans over the ditch. Why don't we start that one with Shane?
Well, that's the first time I've heard about it. I haven't had time to think today, so that's awesome. Pretty cool. Hopefully that happens soon here for the Australian side as well. But definitely having some good coverage over there in New Zealand is a plus as well. So we just got to get back there and go racing there.
Yeah, Scott, bummer that we can't obviously be racing there this year. But that's a huge silver lining to know that Supercars will be live over there for the next 5 years.
Yeah, my Nana will be stoked because she watches everything from sidetrack the whole deal, so she's all over it. But fantastic. Like you said, it sucks not going back there. It's for me, Shane, and the other Kiwis, it's a big deal going back there, and you really enjoy this home support and cheering basically every time you go past, and whether it's red or blue, and to not have that this year sucks, but. To know that's locked away and we'll be going back to New Zealand in future years, it's awesome.
We'll get to Jamie in just a moment, but this one's from Andrew Van Leeuwen from motorsport.com for Shane. We heard you mention how difficult it was to pass, and particularly at the end of the race when you got close to Scott. The question here is, given your comments about the aero wash, do we still have too much aero on the cars?
Yes.
That's a quick and easy one. Yes, is the answer, Andrew. Back to Craig's questions for Jamie, Inside Motorsport. From both points of view, driver and commissioner, this is always going to start happening, wasn't it? Were you happy with how today went with no other on-track activities and no data? Any of the changes made today, Jamie, things that we might be able to push back and continue when we all go back to the normal world?
My commissioner's hat stays at home on race weekend, and I've got a big role here to do with the Red Bull Holden Racing team. So great to get back behind the wheel and cut some laps. As far as the strategy went, I think it was great to see cars taking on different strategies. The 3 cars on the podium all elected to use 8 of their 20 Dunlop tyres, which will have to, people will have that advantage tomorrow. We'll be running around on only 6 tyres in some races, and other cars will have 8. So While it was great for us today, we'll have to pay for it at some stage tomorrow. But all in all, I think it's great to have different strategies and see different cars do different things. The data, we do get a little bit of data. We've got some information we can look through overnight to make the car go quicker. But the big changes we've made is to try to eliminate the big mission control. There's no point having only 13 people per team here at the track when you've got 10 people sitting at home going through all the data and spending a heap of money and time away from the circuit trying to make the cars go faster. So all in all, I think it's been some good changes. I think the racing was good today, and I think it's going to be pretty crazy tomorrow.
I reckon two rattle guns really stood out today as being the big differential. Is there a chance we might see that next year when we get back to doing things normally?
Oh, potentially, for sure. I think the whole situation's pretty fluid at the moment, and it's forever changing. So we're not sure what is just temporary for this round and the next couple, or what the category will be like for the long-term future. So I think the two rattle guns is good. Less parts wearing out. Made the mechanics work pretty hard, running backwards and forwards there to change forwards tyres. I think all in all it was a good thing.
From Dan McCarthy at Auto Action, I'll direct this to Scott and Shane. What do you guys think of the quickfire race format? Start with Scotty.
I loved it, but my mechanics didn't like it. I love being on track all the time and all that sort of stuff, but far out the boys were. I never seen them so flat out. So look, it's tough, but I'm sure when we get some more support categories and stuff, it probably won't be as quick. But I do like the quick fire, how it just happens. Practice. I like the 2-day format. I think it's a cool thing, being here later and going home earlier. And we just straight on the job, and it really comes up to the teams to roll out of the truck strong and put a lot of prep into it, which is really enjoyable.
Shane, your thoughts on the format?
Yeah, it's especially after first practice, you get out, cool down, start talk with the engineers, and all of a sudden there's only 15 minutes till you're going again. So I think it's pretty cool. Roll your car out of the truck competitive. But yeah, I think it's really cool today, and I don't know what it seemed like watching on TV or people at home, but to us it felt like we were non-stop go all day. So I'm wrecked now, ready for bed, come back and do it all again tomorrow, but certainly enjoyed it.
Interesting one from Andrew Van Leeuwen. Do you prefer it to the long days at the track? It still felt like a pretty long day at the track. Did it feel at all, Jamie, different to a normal day, rocking up early and leaving late?
Yeah, I'm like the other boys. I really enjoyed the fast pace of it. There's no time to mess around or fluff around in between the sessions. You're basically out, get a bit of time with the engineer, and off you go again. The cloud cover came over. It got really dark. It felt like 6 o'clock at night. But it was only about 2:30 before the race. So it felt like, the day did feel long in some way, but it felt fast paced in other. I really like the format. I think it's great. Our boys are with the Penske guys. They've been absolutely tapped out all day. But I think we'll get better as the rounds go on, better at managing that time in between. Mm-hmm. But all in all, I think it was fun.
This one's from Daniel Herrera at speedcafe.com. What can be learned from this weekend around development of the new soft tyre compound for 2021? Anyone want to volunteer that one? I guess the guys fighting at the front. Was the soft tyre degradation sort of where you wanted it today? Did that open up a few different strategies, Scott?
I think it punished me for going a little bit harder at the start, but it didn't really reward Shane for having a faster car behind me. I think until we get the downforce off the car and dirty air lower, it doesn't really matter what tyre we put on it.
Shane, apart from being black and round, is there anything else you want to see in a tyre for next year?
Oh, I think this tyre's pretty good. I'm excited for Winton with the different strategies and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think our tyre's pretty decent. I think it maybe could operate in a different temperature window. But firstly, you got to be able to follow the cars, and then that'll make the racing better more than the tyres. I think the aero, following cars is the worst it's ever been now with the gurneys. But I think Dunlop are doing a really good job. The tyres are really consistent. The batches are more consistent than they were a year or two ago. I think Dunlop are doing a good job.
We never really got to see how that was going to play out at the Grand Prix as well, with the multiple tyres on track at once. I'll take one more journo question For all three of you, this is from Stefan Bartholomeus from Supercars. What's the vibe like there? I guess try and give us an insight. What is it like walking around the paddock, walking through gates without fans? Scott, let's start with you. What's the vibe like at Sydney Motorsport Park today?
It's very weird. I've hardly seen basically anyone past the Red Bull garage. Everyone's so spread out, and you sort of go down in separate areas when everyone's staying at the same hotel, but you don't see anyone. It's all there's checkpoints and whatever. But in terms of fans and corporates and all that sort of stuff, it's very quiet. Obviously, it's quite easy to go from your garage to your truck and all that sort of stuff. But it sucks in a way. It's that adds an element to the racing and to the day, and it's looking forward to getting some people back here for sure.
Jamie, the vibe at the track today.
Yeah, it's different. Of course, we love performing in front of a big crowd. So without the crowd here and the corporates out here enjoying it, it's not as good. But at the same time, there's no fluff. There's not all these activities going on during the day that in some way just seem like a waste of time. We're here, we go racing, but of course, if we can do that and have big crowds and people here enjoying it as well, that'd be the ultimate.
Shane, is it quiet at the track? What's the
it's weird. It's just weird, especially on the grid. You could hear Larko talking between the cars.
Yeah, right.
Pre-race stuff and just stuff you never noticed before. So in some ways it's good, but in some ways it's pretty hollow. You love racing in front of the crowd and having all the fans here, all your friends and supporters. And it's definitely a weird feeling, but I think it's going to be the norm for a while. But certainly the attitude for everyone here at our team, there was so much excitement to get back to the track, get back racing. And for me, the first time I used full throttle, feeling the power again and smell of everything, it's awesome.
That's
good
cool.
to be back.
We'll take a couple of questions off Facebook to finish off, which is kind of cool, getting some fan questions in. I'll throw this one to Scotty. It's from Rob Allen. Were there any adjustment issues coming back from the E-Series to normal?
No. It's I think I can speak on behalf of Shane too. We do so much of it that we sort of jumping back into the real thing. It's not too bad. You sort of realise, you got two different things. So yeah, the E-Series was cool. Just glad everyone realised it was no reset button today, and we didn't have a rollover race start or anything like that. So it was all good.
Yeah, damage was definitely on. Shane, is there any bad habits you can take from online racing over to the real thing?
No, I guess the funniest thing, it was all the same guys up the front, apart from Jamie. But, I was coming up to the last corner on the second last lap, I seen, Scotty in front, and then freaking Jack Smith about to be lapped, 1 lap to go. And I had some bad flashbacks, but it was all good. It's, as Scotty said, we do it all the time anyway, so no real issue.
All right, this one is for Scott. I tell you what, Scott, the fans asked the hard-hitting questions. Will you be driving a supercar next year?
I reckon I will be.
Yeah? You reckon you will be?
At this stage, I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now.
How many times are we going to ask you this question between now and when we're back in Sydney, do you reckon?
No, I don't care, and I'm just going to keep answering it the same way.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's wrap it up there. There was another one from Josh Nichols, actually. Jamie, can you win an 8th championship? We'll finish on this one today.
Absolutely. Yeah, not here to make up the numbers. Here to have a crack. It wasn't quite good enough today, but see me do a better job tomorrow.
All right, boys. Well done. I'm really interested how tomorrow's going to play out with tyre banks, no data. Who knows what's going to happen. Thanks for your time. Well done, Scotty. Well done to both the Rebel boys on a good podium. Thanks to the journos. Sad we can't have you guys at the track. I'm feeling that too. And thanks to all the fans for your questions. Sad we can't have them at the track. Good night, guys. We'll see you back at the track tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ta.